97% of people can't get a perfect score on this tech quiz. We're starting easy, but by the end, even senior developers might struggle. Watch until the end to see your official IT rank. Are you a tech enthusiast or a true tech titan? How many nibbles are in one bite? A nibble is exactly 4 bits. Since a byte contains 8 bits, you can fit exactly 2 nibbles in one byte. Think of it like cutting a pizza, byte, into 2 equal halves, nibbles. Each half is 4 bits. What does BIOS stand for? BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System. It's the very first software that runs when you press the power button on your computer. It checks your hardware, makes sure everything is working properly, and then hands control over to your operating system. Which unit equals 1024 gigabytes? (1024 gigabytes equals 1 terabyte. Computers work with powers of 2, so instead of using nice round numbers like 1000, we use 1024, which is 2 to the power of 10. That's why storage capacities always seem a bit odd. In Boolean logic, what is the result of true XOR true? XOR stands for exclusive OR. Unlike regular OR, XOR is only true when the inputs are different from each other. Since both inputs here are true, they're the same, the result is false. XOR essentially asks, are these inputs different? In this case, no, so false. Which hardware is known for having no moving parts? SSD stands for solid-state drive. Unlike traditional hard drives that use spinning magnetic disks, SSDs store data in flash memory chips, the same technology used in USB drives. No moving parts means they're faster, quieter, more durable, and use less power. What is the hexadecimal value for the decimal number 15? In hexadecimal, base 16, we count from 0 to 9 and then continue with letters A through F, so it goes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in decimal equals A, B, C, D, E, F in hex. The number 15 is the last single digit in hex, represented by the letter F. What is a bug in computer science? A bug is any error, flaw, or unexpected behavior in a program. The term dates back to 1947, when engineers found an actual moth stuck in a computer relay. Today, bugs can be anything from typos in code to complex logic errors that cause crashes or incorrect results. What is the primary color model used for computer screens? RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Computer screens use these three colors of light to create all the colors you see. By mixing different intensities of red, green, and blue light at each pixel, your screen can display millions of different colors. This is different from printing, which uses CMYK. What does the S in HTTPS stand for? The S in HTTPS stands for secure. It means the connection between your browser and the website is encrypted using SSL or TLS protocols. This encryption protects your data from being intercepted by hackers, which is especially important when entering passwords or credit card information. What is an infinite loop? An infinite loop is a loop where the exit condition is never met, causing it to run forever. This usually happens an accident when programmers forget to update the loop counter or set the wrong condition. It can freeze your program and is one of the most common beginner mistakes. Which command in Linux/Mac is used to see the list of files? ls is short for list, and it's one of the most essential commands in Linux and Mac terminals. It shows you all the files and folders in your current directory. You can add flags like ls-l for detailed information, or ls-a to show hidden files too. What is a string in programming? A string is a sequence of characters, basically text data. It could be a word, a sentence, or even an entire document. In most programming languages, strings are wrapped in quotes, like "Hello World." Despite the name, strings can contain letters, numbers, spaces, and special characters. What is phishing? Phishing is a cyber attack where scammers pretend to be a trustworthy entity, like your bank, a friend, or a popular website, to trick you into revealing sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, or personal details. They often use fake emails or websites that look legitimate. Which of these is a floating point number? Floating point numbers are numbers that have a decimal point. The term floating refers to how the decimal point can float to different positions to represent very large or very small numbers. Examples include 3.14, -0.5, or 2.0. Integers like 10 don't have decimal points. What does ping test on a network? Ping measures latency, the time it takes for data to travel from your computer to a server and back again. It's measured in milliseconds. A low ping, like 20 milliseconds, means fast response times, which is great for gaming and video calls. High ping means lag and delays. What is the motherboard? The motherboard is the main circuit board in your computer. It's like the nervous system of your PC. It connects and allows communication between all the essential components: CPU, RAM, storage drives, graphics card, and all the ports. Without it, your computer parts couldn't talk to each other. What is the shortcut for copy on most systems? Control-C is the universal keyboard shortcut for copy on Windows and Linux, Command-C on Mac. It copies selected text or files to your clipboard without removing them. Then you use Control-V to paste. These shortcuts save tons of time and are essential computer skills everyone should know. What is the cloud actually? The cloud isn't magical. It's just a network of powerful servers stored in massive data centers around the world. When you save a file to the cloud, you're actually uploading it to someone else's computer, usually owned by companies like Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, that you can access via the internet. What is a pointer in languages like C++? A pointer is a variable that stores a memory address. It literally points to the location in memory where actual data is stored. Instead of holding data directly, it holds the address where that data lives. This gives programmers powerful control over memory, but can also lead to tricky bugs if used incorrectly. What is the main purpose of a cache? Cache is a small, ultra-fast storage area that keeps frequently accessed data close to the CPU. Instead of fetching data from slow RAM or even slower hard drives every time, the CPU can grab it from cache almost instantly. Think of it like keeping your most used tools on your desk instead of walking to the garage every time. In asymmetric encryption, how many keys are used? Asymmetric encryption uses two different but mathematically related keys, a public key and a private key. The public key encrypts data and can be shared with everyone, while the private key decrypts it and must be kept secret. This solves the problem of securely sharing encryption keys over insecure channels. What is refactoring in code? Refactoring is the process of improving your code structure, readability, and maintainability without changing what it actually does. It's like tidying up your room. Everything ends up in a better place, but you haven't moved to a new house. Good refactoring makes code easier to understand and modify in the future. What is an IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's a comprehensive software application that provides everything you need to write, test, and debug code in one place, like VS Code, IntelliJ, or PyCharm. It typically includes a code editor, debugger, compiler, and other helpful tools, all integrated together. What is the big O complexity of a linear search? Linear search has a time complexity of O(n), where n is the number of elements. In the worst case, you have to check every single element in the list one by one until you find what you're looking for or reach the end. If you're searching through 1,000 items, you might need to look at all 1,000 items. What happens in an integer overflow? Integer overflow happens when a number exceeds the maximum value that can be stored in its data type. Instead of crashing, the number typically wraps around to the minimum value, like an odometer rolling over from 99999 to 0000. For example, if a byte maxes out at 255, adding 1 makes it wrap to 0. What is metadata? Metadata is data that describes other data. For example, when you take a photo, the image itself is the data, but the metadata includes information like when it was taken, what camera was used, the location, file size, and resolution. It's like the label on a box telling you what's inside. What is the purpose of garbage collection? Garbage collection is an automatic memory management process that identifies and reclaims memory that's no longer being used by your program. Instead of programmers manually freeing up memory, which can lead to bugs, the garbage collector does it automatically, like having a cleaning service that throws out trash you're no longer using. What is a framework in software? A framework is a pre-built foundation of code, tools, and libraries that provides a structure for building applications. Instead of writing everything from scratch, you build on top of the framework's foundation. Examples include React for web apps, Django for Python, or Unity for games. It saves time and enforces good practices. In memory management, what is the heap? The heap is a region of memory used for dynamic memory allocation, memory that's requested and freed during program execution. Unlike the stack, which handles function calls and local variables in a fixed order, the heap lets you allocate exactly how much memory you need when you need it. It's more flexible but slower and requires manual management in some languages. What is the difference between a thread and a process? A process is a running instance of a program with its own memory space. Threads are lighter-weight execution units within a process that share the process's resources like memory and files. Think of a process as a factory and threads as workers in that factory. They all share the same workspace but can work on different tasks simultaneously. What is a salt in password hashing? A salt is random data that's added to a password before it hashes it. This prevents attackers from using pre-computed rainbow tables, massive databases of common passwords and their hashes, to crack passwords. Even if two users have the same password, their salts will be different, so the resulting hashes will be completely different. What is horizontal scaling? Horizontal scaling means adding more machines or servers to your system to handle increased load, rather than upgrading a single powerful machine, vertical scaling. It's like hiring more workers instead of making one worker faster. This approach is often more cost-effective and provides better redundancy. If one server fails, the others keep running. What is technical debt? Technical debt is the implied cost of future rework caused by choosing quick and easy solutions now instead of better approaches that would take longer. Just like financial debt, you get something now but have to pay it back later with interest. Bad code written today becomes harder to maintain, modify, and debug in the future.